Still picture capture, moving moments snap, releasing feeling, embracing within. All the laughs, the scars, no tears, no bars. I'm celebrating me and I'm satisfied my soul. This night I need you to satisfy
Dear Lord, I have been told that I'm made in your image, that your thoughts towards me are good, your plans to see me prosper. Sometimes I'm positive you've forgotten me. I sit stagnant, struggling to move ahead while watching others achieve their goals and dreams. I am yours. Why is my life like a raging storm? Where is the love and protection you said would be mine? Where have you been when innocence was taken? Tell me, God, where have you been when those I trusted have taken what they needed and walked away unpunished? And really, Lord, please help me understand why those who provided comfort, security, and unconditional love was taken in death. I fail to see the goodness and happiness in a life that is continually being struck with disaster. If I hear one more time, my dear, God never gives you more than you can bear, I will lose it. Obviously, you must have lost your power because you have not heard me knocking on heaven's door. And you surely have not heard me shouting and crying out in agony, telling you I cannot take one more disappointment. If, as they say, your knowledge is pure and instant, Mr. All-Knowing Higher Being, then as my creator, you should have had my back and given me a heads up to prevent me from walking into situations that caused me pain and tore me apart emotionally and mentally. Oh, did you forget that you said by your stripes I am healed? Oh, come on, God. Where's my healing now? Why are the doctors working overtime to find out why that child is dying? But merciful God, in my rage towards the injustices and uncertainties of life, I have forgotten that you have given us, me, free will to do as I please. In my anger, I lost sight of your constant, omnipresence protection, removing those people and things from my life that would have led to even further destruction. I did not see then that you were slowly healing and that the discoveries were providing medical knowledge. You, in your omniscient power, understood that there would be many who were going through the same struggles and in need of someone, anyone, who has survived, to be an example and let them know that storms really do just last for a while. And even though they have been hurt, they have overcome and can stand in victory. You see, I wanted a life void of trials and issues for my selfish enjoyment. But if I had not been through those moments, I would have not had the grace to appreciate the beauty of the small things, of the subtle fragrance of freshly baked bread, or the warmth of a hug. In those moments of life lessons, I did not see it then, but I do now. Happiness and contentment does not come only through the easiness of existence, but in having the ability to jump over hurdles, and when I fall down, I get back up, knowing that I will stand. So I say thank you, Lord, for giving me the grace to endure.
Welcome to your viewing audience to Satisfying Her Soul Talk Show. We are your hosts. I'm Sonia and she is Sonia. This first time ever talk show on Rogers TV was designed and created by women for women to engage and empower women to make positive changes through the cultivation of a holistic lifestyle. Seems like a foreign language? Seems like a lot of work? Well, no and yes. No, it's not a foreign language, and yes, it will take some work. We're talking about complete wellness from the inside out on a spiritual, physical, mental, emotional, and financial level. Sonia and I are more than we appear to be. We have decided to step outside of our box. We love who we are on the outside, while on a continuous aim to work on our inside, our soul. We encourage people, especially women, to embrace their stories, no matter how discouraging it may seem, as it is what makes their journey. God has blessed Sonia and I with a very unique way to reach out to women, and that was initiated through our photography business, which immediately became intimately and passionately involved with women's wellness by hosting our annual fundraiser event called Listen to Me, which brings the awareness to the eradication of violence against women. That event conceived satisfying satisfying her soul monthly healing events to now giving birth to Satisfying Her Soul talk show. A platform like this is needed for the upward movement of women. Let me say that again. A platform like this is needed for the upward movement of women. We decided then as women and that we need to celebrate ourselves, plain and simple. We need to appreciate who we are despite what our past says about us. Let's not just live life with trying to attain purpose, but let's live life on purpose. Satisfying Her Soul talk show's vision is to create an atmosphere of mindfulness and self-exploration. This show will successfully transform many issues with which women struggle with, i.e. intimacy, communication, relationships, conflict with their aesthetics, self-worth, the list goes on and on. This show is a provocative show that will touch every heart. Without a doubt, we all know love and heartbreak. We know also triumph and defeat. Sometimes we have to lose ourselves to find who we are always intended to be. This show's priority is to be an ear for those that may feel they do not have a voice. Once again, this show is our priority is to be an ear for those that may feel they do not have a voice. Love, faith, hope, inspiration, empowerment. Before I give Sonia an opportunity to share her thoughts with you, I would like to say that we are not experts. We do not have the extra letters behind our name. We're definitely not a saint. We're not Mother Teresa. There's no halo over our head. But we are definitely women that are journeying towards healing. All right? So that's all I have to say, and Sonia will say a word or two to you.
Hi, I'm Sonia, and I want to personally thank you for tuning into Satisfying Her Soul, a platform which was created for me, you, her, and many other women to feel comfortable in sharing their journey of letting go, forgiveness, and creating a new you. I can tell you firsthand that it's not the easiest for me to be standing here, as I'm affectionately known as a quiet, introvert, shy twin, whereas Sonia, on the other hand, is extremely comfortable with this setting. But I've come to realize that within the past few years, my life has made some changes, and I had to step out of my comfort zone and do things I never thought I would do before, and this is one of it. I have to say that throughout the years, there's things that I struggled with, such as letting go, such as forgiveness, such as healing. I'm now at a place in my life where I'm able to heal and to move forward. Satisfying Her Soul is a platform that is about healing. It's about finding that place called peace. It's about soaring on the wings of forgiveness. It's also about my journey, your journey, her journey, and all of our journeys. I remember a few years ago when I was going through my situations, which I will definitely explain in the next segment. I remember I had many dark moments. I shed many tears. I had many sleepless nights. I shed so much tears that at some points I felt like I was dry crying. My heart was broken in a million and one pieces. And so I can identify with a lot of women that are going through issues and stuff because I've lived it. I always said to Sonia, who knows it, feels it. In saying so, with myself, I'm learning to forgive. I still struggle daily with that. And Satisfying Her Soul really is all about that. Finding that place of being a peaceful place, of being a peaceful mind. I didn't realize many times that I was basically killing myself slowly, my mind, body, and soul, with negative feelings that I had, a negative energy that I was putting off that I didn't realize. This is definitely a journey about healing, and it's also a process. I thought healing would have happened overnight or instantly, but it didn't for me. It was definitely a process that I'm still going through. But in saying so, we definitely have brighter days and such forth. So just stay tuned. There's a lot of things that we're going to be discussing in the next segment about my journey and satisfying her soul.
Still picture capture, moving on and snap, releasing feeling, embrace.
Sonia. I am a CEO. I am a CEO. I am a friend. I am a friend. I am extroverted, that is. I am the good twin. I am me. I am me. And together we are CEO and Faces of 715 by Mirror Images and Satisfying Her Soul Healing Events. I am a director. I am a woman. I am strong. I am powerful. I am me. The question of what are we about? Honestly, when I think about it, I cannot articulate it or put it in a sentence what we're about. Originally, when my twin and I started our business, it was VIIXD by Mirror Images, which is 715 by Mirror Images. It was just about taking pictures of women, making them celebrate themselves, celebrate their bodies, embrace who they are. Then that evolved to our sessions becoming into more of girl talk, where we're taking pictures and they're telling us of what they triumphed over, what they're going through, why they're here, why they decided to take a picture, why they decided to document themselves via photography. And then we said, you know what, this is more than what we appear to be. And what that is now we evolved into where we have Satisfying Our Soul. So we have 715 by Mirror Images, our photography business. Then we have Satisfying Her Soul healing events, which we have once a month. And it's a process for us because as we go up on stage and we use that as a platform, we're using it as a platform to heal ourselves as well. And women come to network, and women that have their own businesses, CEOs, strong women on the outside, but in the inside they're going through their own emotions. They're going through issues that have stemmed from when they were young up until now it's playing out in their adulthood, and they want to get past that threshold. So when somebody asks, what are we about? It's hard to say, what are we about? You have to come experience what we're about. It's an epiphany for me, and I'm pretty sure my twin, when we lay down and we recognize what it is that we're doing. We're going through the motions just as much, the emotions and the motions like anybody else. Up to now, we know where we want to go with it, but then we don't know the fullness of where we're going with it. So we just... Welcome back to Satisfying Her Soul Talk Show. Obviously, we were nervous the first segment. Now we're ready. We're prepared to get this going. We are Sonia and Sonia. If you're tuning in for the first time, you've tuned into Satisfying Her Soul, which is a platform that was created and designed for women to journey towards healing. So, Sonia, as you sit here in Rogers Station, what's going through your mind?
Well, I'm going to be very honest. I'm nervous, but I feel really good. It's a long time coming, so I'm definitely happy about that. How are you feeling?
Okay, that's the thing. We know that 2 weeks ago everybody was anticipating that we were going to have our show, and as life happens, it didn't happen at that time. But we knew the platform was going to take place, and as we were waiting for it to happen, we decided that we were going to do things to prepare for the show, even though it was non-scripted. And the way that we prepared is we hung around people that we found was very inspirational in our life. People that we find that were part of our healing process when we were going through whatever situation of life that we were going through. We recognized that we were around people and women that showed strength and courage, and they also were a part of our Satisfying Our Soul events. So the preparation that we did for the show was not really about getting the notes together, getting this together, no, because like how life is unscripted, so is this platform.
Exactly.
This platform, Sonia and I we are journeying towards our own healing. As we sit here, we're going to tell you, we are not perfect women. We are women that are journeying towards healing. We are women that are trying to promote the whole concept that sharing is healing.
Right.
As much as I'm a loudmouth, as you can tell, I haven't stopped yet, right? And Sonia's more quieter. You have some women that are going through a situation and going through things in life that needs a platform like this. So I feel humbled that we are actually given an opportunity to do something like this. I mean, It first started out a year ago. We were doing our Satisfying Our Soul events, and that entailed us having different
venues.
yeah, sorry, thanks, Sonia. See, it's awesome having a twin. When I mess up, she steps in. You see how it works? So yeah, we would have our events at different venues, and we'd have different themes: forgiveness, healing, how to move on, letting go, and we are going to touch on those topics as well as part of our program, Satisfying Our Soul. But in saying that is, we didn't know that where it was going to go. We didn't understand or know that it was going to evolve to something where it's being televised. As we said, and a lot of women came up to us and backdoored us. Not a lot of women have a voice where they feel they want to speak.
Right.
A lot of women are suffering in silence. And what has touched my heart is we have some women that said if, and we're talking about girlfriends because we know that, and I'm going to say something so you guys get the gist of it. Sonia here, she has a lot to say, and she says a lot through writing. I'm the one who speaks a lot, and sometimes you're gonna see her kick me because I might be rambling. But we're gonna have real talk and real talk. This is how real it is, all right? And to go back into what I was saying is, when we use this platform for women to journey towards healing, it's not something we take lightly.
Right.
We recognize that with life, you're thrown different, I guess, situations in life, issues,
right.
Things that we didn't account for, and so forth. And it's hard that when you're going through that situation to come in front of people and to share your story with other people when you don't recognize what it is that you possibly may be going through. This platform is going to give women that opportunity to share their story, that opportunity to inspire another woman that is suffering in silence. Too many women that we've heard of said that if my girlfriend had seen your show or had seen one of your events or read a blog from in my sister's closet, she would still be here.
Right.
There's too many women being overwhelmed by the situations of life. And we need to alleviate that because, like I said, and I will say it repeatedly, sharing is healing. Exactly. And that's the platform we're going to foster with this.
Right.
All right? So in saying that, Sonia, do you have anything you want to say? Because people are going to say, Sonia, you hogged it. Let Sonia speak.
Oh, no, because I'm going to read my blog very soon, so you can go ahead.
Okay, so life, like I had said, is very ironic. Sometimes it takes sadness to know what happiness is.
Right.
It takes noise to appreciate silence. And it takes absence to value presence. We all have a story, and this is my story. We're going to enter into the My Story segment of our show, and I think it's so fitting that the first featured woman that will be sharing her story with us is Sonia. She, as much as she's my twin, she doesn't hear me say all these mushy things about her, but Sonia is a woman of courage, a woman of strength, a woman of endurance, perseverance. She decided that sharing is healing. And she decided that she's going to make her healing her responsibility. She made a decision that her happiness is her responsibility. She also made the decision that ultimately her life is her responsibility. So she decided to share her story and her journey with us. We want people to be mindful that this environment, this platform, was not created for drama. It was not created to expose anybody that you may have feel that have done you any wrong. It's not about that. It's about exposing the pain.
Exactly.
Cleaning out the wound so that we can encourage healing to take place, that process to take place.
Right.
Exactly. With saying that, when you get hurt, you get this physical wound. And you know that you're hurt because you feel the pain. And as time goes on, the pain intensifies.
Right.
And once it reaches to whatever level of intensification, which Sonia said is not a word, but I said it's a word, right? It starts to subside. And once it subsides, we recognize there's a level of healing taking place because there's a scab of film growing over that wound. But some of us in life are scab pickers, and we like to pick our scabs.
Right.
And that affects the healing process. Healing is taking steps forward. Healing is also looking for a brighter future. Sometimes we don't find strength by ourselves. We have to find it collectively with other people. Satisfying Her Soul evolved just for that. Sharing is healing. So now I'm going to give my mouth and my tongue a break, and we're going to get into Sonia to tell her story. You can hear a little bit from Sonia.
Well, what I'm going to share with you guys is my blog, which is located on My Sister's Closet. Just give me a few moments of your attention. It's not a long read, but the words here really evoke emotions in me. Although I wrote it, it brings back to a place of, I guess, trials.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, so here we go. I woke up today and you were not there. Last night I went to bed a wife. This morning I woke up alone. Where does one start to talk about a relationship that lasted for 7 years and ended with a distance as far as the east is to the west? How can one love today and hate tomorrow? How can one say I love you but then turn around and abandon you? How could I have loved you so deep and loved me so little? I guess the journey was to lose myself so that I can love me better. It has been a trying 2 and some years. I have visited every corner and crevice of my emotions that a human can feel. There has been many times that I have mastered the art of feeling every emotion a person can experience all in a 5-minute span. Sometimes wondering how did I keep my sanity? How did I not lose it? It only has to be through the grace and mercy of God. Over the years, I've become an emotional hoarder. Every emotion that I was feeling within the last few years, I kept piling up and refusing to let go. I had happiness, sadness, love, hate, excitement, disappointment, trust, distrust, confidence, insecurities, faith, no faith, hope, and hopeless. The list goes on and on as a collection of my emotional baggage grew and the piling up continued. But what I felt the most was hate. Because I loved you, I still loved him so much, and because of your lack of and dirty behaviors, I was now expected to hate you in public, but continue to love you secretly. That was extremely hard, and that was extremely hard to do, especially with the constant reminders of why I was feeling what I was feeling. For 48 months, 211 weeks, 1,461 days, and 35,064 hours, and to be honest, sometimes still counting. What's so frustrating was, how was I supposed to turn off 7 years of love for you? It was September 2nd, 2011, when I came to the realization that all this time, my ego was still in love. My ego refused to let go. My ego didn't get that memo. The truth is, I was with a man that had commitment issues. I battled with the fear of leaving the unhappy relationship for many years. I placed myself on this ridiculous hierarchy that separated me from them, and what I mean, the other women. Always comparing what he did for me and what he gave to me and the 2 children I had for him to what they didn't have. But I guess I was getting too comfortable with that spot, and yes, that rug was pulled from underneath me. Things I used to keep me on top were the same things that made me fall into a black hole. He too got comfortable with his indiscretions and began to give them all that he was giving me. All this time I focused on them while losing sight of what really mattered. And what really mattered wasn't them nor him. What mattered was me and the truth. We all hear from time to time people say, you sold yourself to the devil. Well, in that essence, that's what I did. I sold myself to lies so that I can see a picture-perfect world. I sold my soul so I can love more. Only one day I finally realized that I gave up so little. That was the moment I realized I had enough. I allowed myself for many years to condition my mind thinking that I was at fault. I became insecure and couldn't trust many while still loving him because I knew his guilt was too much for him to carry. I slept from 2002 to 2008. I woke up in 2008. At that moment, I saw my life within the last 7 years replaying fast motions. Then it started to slow down. As it slowed down, my life began to choke me with the reality of the life that I've lived for 7 years. Fearful of what could happen, it left me literally on a roller coaster that scared me to death. I had to make a decision, and I had to make it quick. The problem was I was tired. I was exhausted. I just didn't know how to do this anymore, anything but cry. I battled with the reality, my thoughts, my once daydreams, and myself. I struggled, and what was so odd was that during my struggles, I knew one day I would triumph. As my journey continues, it was 2010 when Sonia came up with the Valentine's Project. Little did we know that this would manifest into bigger things. 715 by Mirror Images, photography, and multimedia, as well as satisfying her soul. even when we never planned nor imagined where this craft would have taken us. I struggled, I stumbled, I got back up, and I fell again, and the cycle continues. The roads that we walk on are never paved in gold, nor are they ever even. There will be bumps, curves, ditches along the way, but we must learn to expect this and not let this change our path nor discourage us. And this is part of what I'm talking about in regards to my journey. We're going to commercial. We'll be right back.
Satisfy my soul. Still picture capture, moving moments snap, releasing feeling, embracing within. All the laughs, the scars, no tears, no bars. I'm celebrating me and me. Capture, moving moments snap, releasing feeling.
Welcome back to Satisfying Her Soul Talk Show. If it's the first time you're tuning in, this was a platform that was created and designed for women by women. But even though it was created for women, it's still for everyone. As we know, the women are pretty much the nucleus of the family. So if they're affected positively, the rest of the family is also affected positively, all right? We're now entering into our segment called the My Sister's Closet segment. And we have joining with us, we have Juanita, who has known us for all her life. Before that we yeah, exactly. And then we
still had the big plaits in our hair running around with.
No, it wasn't the plaits. We were wearing the 90s on our head with long hair. And then we have Charlene here, who's known us for over 20 years. Yes. We found it very significant and important to have these women support us on a very important day. This segment of My Sister's Closet is about real women, real talk, real issues, just realness, all right? So before we get into that segment, I just want to talk about the metaphoric meaning of My Sister's Closet. I cannot stress the importance I cannot stress how important it is to foster sisterhood relationships. We need to know that opening our hearts, renewing connection, building trust, love, respect, and intimacy amongst us women is needed to heal. It's not a one thing. Even though you may be going through the situation by yourself, collectively, we should all be there supporting each other, whether you're blood or you're water or whatever. Just support. Sister's Closet, the metaphoric reason, meaning behind it is, as women, we like to go, we go in your closet, we say, Charlene, I love that, which I'm looking right now, I love what you have on,
I've been telling her all day, I want the boots.
Absolutely. The closet symbolizes going in, sharing, saying, oh, I love that piece, I'm going to feel good, and all that great stuff. But it also has another meaning, and that meaning is usually when you talk about dark secrets, it's in the closet. Right. Secrets are in the closet. Right. When a child talks about being fearful of their room, it's always the monsters in the closet. So what we're going to do in this segment, like I said, are real women. You guys are real, right?
Of course.
You guys there? Yeah, okay, all right. Real women, real issues, real talk, all right? So before we get into I heard that there was a game.
Yes, so before we get into anything, I have a game that was presented by another close member of the family, Samantha. Sister-in-law Sam Watkins. So she's given me some questions, and this again is just for the audience to get a feel for the twins, to get a feel for some of the stuff that are important to them. And so I'm going to ask you guys, me and Charlene are going to ask the two of you a series of questions, and you're just going to answer them. You're just going to answer it, not give it any thought, just give me your answer, okay? So I'm going to start it off.
Well, let's start by making sure everybody realizes or knows at least that these guys do not know what the questions are.
Yes, you have totally given to us.
That's why I'm kind of worried.
Yeah, you got an element of surprise. We like to get an element of surprise in here. So I'm going to start off, and I see you trying to peek over on me. Don't even try it, Sonia, because it's not happening. Okay. All right, so here's the first question. When you think of love, what is the first thing that comes to mind?
Consistency, being consistent.
Okay, but I'm not going to lie. She just actually altered my answer, because I was going to say my husband. That's what I was going to say, because we said the first thing that comes to mind is my husband. Right. And then funny you said consistency.
Yes.
So.
All right. And what is your favorite childhood memory? I know there's so many to count, but
think of one that stands out and you just want to mention it. You guys may have the same, you may have different. What?
You know what mine was? My favorite childhood memory, as simple as it is, it was when we used to go to our grandparents' house because we find, and well, that's when you were always there. We found that we were able to, Sonia and I, as much as there's two of us, she doesn't count as a person to me, really, right? So, not for me, growing up, the fun was going to see Juanita.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean? Going out, even though Juanita claims I was a bully, but
Oh
whatever.
my gosh, people don't even know how you guys. But okay, that's a whole other show. But
My favorite childhood memory is hanging out with Juanita. You know, because Sonia was like me, so it was the same.
Well, I'm kind of hungry right now, and I remember it's probably Daddy when he used to make the floats. Remember the floats? Do the pop and the ice cream? That, I could do with that right now. That was a good
one. Okay, so this next, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to read the first half, and then I'm going to slide it over to you, and you take over the second half. So this part has this is a three-part question about music. When I want to dance, I listen to
Vibes Cartel.
I knew she was going to say that. Why is my best friend such a hidden and I can't forget it. But
I don't know.
And that's a whole different thing.
My latest mood song is Donna Summer's Last Dance.
There you go, girl.
I don't care.
I have a full collection CD if you ever want to borrow it. Let your cousin know I got you.
It's like for me, it's like I Believe in Miracles. When I hear that song, I want to dance and carry on.
Of course. Exactly. All right, so when I want to meditate or reflect, I listen to.
Oh, wow. Anita Baker, No More Tears, for me.
Me, I have to say Whitney Houston.
So
Can I add one more? Anthony Hamilton, Her Heart.
Sure.
That's how I repeat.
So just to deviate off of this a little bit, why that song? What is it about that song?
It's the words, and I can remember when I played that song, that was my, that was my time where I felt like, okay, somebody gets it. Right. You know what I mean? She was saying everything that I felt.
Yeah.
The scenario in the song was very similar to what I was going through at that time. So for me, that's why it was so relevant to me. It brought me through a lot, and it helped me to say, okay, you know what, Sonia? You're not the only one that has, she's a singer. She obviously had to go through it to write about it. And it was very passionate. So
you know what? That is actually one of the things that I think that people...
that's just so good.
Thanks, girl. People don't realize, right, is that when you're going through certain things and you can feel alone, that is probably one of the worst feelings that you can have.
Exactly.
Because you're caged, you're closeted, you're inside yourself. Exactly. The minute that you can sit outside and recognize that I'm not the only one, it makes it so much easier.
It's so true because like I said, and you guys weren't here when I said it, that it's hard to find strength alone.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it's this very powerful statement.
Strength is a numbers.
Strength is a number. It's divide and conquer. You know what I mean? But that was a fun period of questioning. But I don't want to cut you guys. But you know me, I cut off people, right? I think. Yeah, whatever, right? But in saying all that is, Sonia, you guys already know Sonia's story and what she's been through, and we know that she's come to us individually for a different type of, feedback or just to vent or whatever the case is. As much as I'm her sister, and she always says this, who feels it knows it. I was not going through what she was going through at the time, so I couldn't understand certain emotions that she was feeling. I couldn't, is my mouth PC?
No.
Okay, good. I couldn't understand certain feelings that she was feeling. But it's only when she comes to you, and then you will say back to me, Sonia, this is why she's feeling like this is because you can understand who feels it, knows it. You guys want to speak a little bit about what?
Well, I can speak to that a little bit. One of the things I can definitely say that I'm learning about myself even is, and this could be coming with age as I get older.
Right.
The minute I learn my lessons, I become completely intolerant of what I think is foolishness.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? We have to be aware of that, very mindful of that. Because what happens is that you're on your journey and you may have passed certain thresholds, but I mean, somebody else is on their learning there. You know what I mean?
Funny you would say that because, again, I've had friends that, have had similar issues, friends who may be going through issues with their significant other, their partner, and, sometimes when you're listening to them and you're hearing their stories, and sometimes you sit back and you're like, you know what? I felt some of that before. And,
Mm-hmm.
you know, sometimes just to have that ear to listen to and someone to say, you know what, girl, you're not alone.
Yeah.
You can do this.
Yes,
You know,
yes, yes.
I mean,
I was there. I was
Exactly.
People relate to I was there.
I was
And
there.
I was there is absolutely the feeling that I think we can all share and
Exactly.
agree with. The part I think that where we disagree is I was there, but these are the steps that you have to take. And these are the steps that I took to not be there anymore.
Right.
So you got to find your own steps. But
It's
some
true.
way you got to get out of there.
Yeah.
You can't sit there and get comfortable in a space of misery, in a space of disrespect,
Exactly.
and whatever else.
And
you
can I
want.
add something? Can I add real quickly? And what I respect about what you just said, because many times I came to you, Juanita and Sonia, and there's times when I was holding a self-pity party. You guys weren't partial, you guys weren't biased towards me. I said, Sonia, cut it out. Yeah, exactly.
I was always one. Me and her would spend lengthy conversations.
I called her at 2 o'clock in the morning.
Exactly.
Called you, came and called Sonia.
And that's what we're trying to show here is the fact of sharing is healing, and you need to have that support system.
Right.
If you don't have that network and that support, you feel as though you're the only one, and that darkness, you won't even see that shimmer of light. Because some days when I didn't see any light, whatever I was going through, some days you guys probably didn't see light, but your friends or that person that's for you sees that light and can say, you know what, tomorrow is a new day.
Absolutely.
So we need to foster the sister relationships.
And another thing that needs to be said is you need to be honest with your
Exactly.
True.
Don't hide some of it because you're afraid of what.
Exactly.
If we're all a unity, we're all here to support.
No judging.
Which means we're going to take the good with the bad. Not everything's going to be a bed of roses. So in order for you to fully heal, you have to be honest. You have to be honest with your situation.
Right.
And
And
that's
with
what
life.
I love about Sonia and Sonia, and
Exactly.
that's probably what I've learned from them in the last 20-something years. I always talk about the twins, where they'll just anything you have to be afraid sometimes of what's going to come out of their mouth. You have to be afraid.
Unless you know them, of course, because
who's
got the worst of it in this meeting, right? But I know.
in a public setting,
Exactly.
they're concerned as to
Me about the parents.
right? But what I love about them is that because they're so blatantly honest, right? That's how they're able to grow. Because you can pretend all you want and create these illusions and who you are, but the minute you can say, you know what, you guys, I'm a little bit selfish.
Right.
And I can say that, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I wish I was a better this. There's ways I can be a better mom. There's things I can do better. And the minute you can say it, then you can say, okay, well, these are the things I need to do.
Exactly. Charlene, it's so true because it's funny because I wanted to say this in the first segment that Sonia and I, we have no problem in sharing what it is and where our challenges are.
Right.
You understand? Because we've gotten to a point where we figure that if God already knows, why are we hiding it from you, from anybody else?
Right.
You can't use what I just told you
Against
as
me.
a tool or weapon against me.
Right.
From truth is your armor, there's nothing else that people use.
Right.
And we want women to feel comfortable in knowing that you can share your stories. But we don't want to drag you out of it. We want you to come when you're ready. We're not forcing anybody to
Everybody
share.
has
You
their
understand?
time.
Everybody has their time. And some people, necessarily that's not the platform that you need to heal.
Yeah.
But they can be inspired by it. You understand?
Right.
So that's...
We also know women, and this is why this forum and this kind of dialogue is so important, because we personally know women who we can look in retrospect and say, if they had this kind of network, if they had this kind of group, they wouldn't have been in the position that they're in now. And we're talking about
Or even if they are in a
Yeah.
position, they know that there's somewhere to go.
But they wouldn't have been there. I'm
Yeah.
talking about when you have your freedom taken away. Okay, I'm talking about when you're no longer in a place where you can live, quote unquote, to a certain extent, because it's gone so far. You know what I mean? Where it's so difficult to come back from, right? So
Yeah. Okay. So no, ladies, that was amazing. That was awesome. That's why we had.
are we finished already?
No. Oh no. No.
Okay.
But maybe we might. Who knows? But we want to say thank you for being our friends. Thank you for supporting us through the good, through the bad, through the ugly, through it all. And we honestly mean that. We're going out to commercial break, and we'll return back to our mom segment, right? Mom segment, my faith segment.
Yep.
So we'll see you in 2-2s as we recognize the sponsors.
There's no tears, no bows. I'm celebrating me and I'm happy. I was satisfy my soul. I need you to satisfy my soul.
welcome back to Satisfying Her Soul Talk Show. We are still your hosts, Sonia and Sonia. We also have our guests on with us still, Juanita and Charlene. If you're tuned in for the first time, you've landed on a program that was designed and created for women to inspire and to be inspired, to enable the journey towards healing. So we left off the last segment just having regular chit chat. Just girl talk. Just girl talk. So now we're going into our segment, which we call Me Time segment, and we're asking the viewing audience to give a call in. We'll take any calls that's it's called Me Time for Tell Me, Inspire Me, Motivate Me, and Empower Me. So if you want to share either just words of upliftment and encouragement, show your support, please call us at 905-595-5483. Is that right, Sonia?
That's right.
Okay, see my back it is. 905-595-5483. Until we get a call in, we'll continue our talk.
Absolutely.
So, you have anything else to share? Let's get off Sonia's situation, because now we know, we know you guys experienced her. We know what it was like. What did you do as a way, what did you do as a way to, move forward?
Wow. Well, for me, it was really important to reflect. Reflection is very, very important. Right. And you guys know, I always talk about this list that I have, right? And the list is a personal list for me to ensure that I'm always doing what is satisfying my soul.
Exactly. That's what,
right? And the minute you're not doing it, guess what? No longer could you be a part of my personal space.
Exactly.
Exactly.
True. Hold on. We have a caller?
Yes, we do.
We have a caller on the phone. I think it's Jason.
From Brampton.
Jason from Brampton.
Yes, hello, good night.
Good night.
How's everyone doing tonight?
Good, how are you?
Awesome. Jason, I have a little bit of a hearing problem. Can you speak up
my
for me?
question is, what I want to know is, for the women that are out there who are seeking that help, and they do have that help from the spouse or family members, they deny it. Why is that, and how can we as men who do want to assist go about helping the sisters?
I have a hard time hearing. Did anybody hear the question? Really kind of, sort of?
I wanted to know, basically, I think he asked is how can, the men in the women's life help assist them, or family members help assist them?
Okay, you know what?
That's a good question.
Because, what I find, and I'm going to speak a little bit about this, and you're speaking about being in a relationship, and you might feel as though that the woman in your life has been a little bit overwhelmed, or a little bit, she's going through, and she could be dealing with a situation from the past, or whatever. There's nothing that you can do to help her until she recognizes that she wants the help per se. You know what I mean? And what I mean by that is, most women want to know that our man or our partners, they're supporting us. And what I find is sometimes when we communicate to our men, and I know a lot of men would be like, Sonia always takes the women's side. It's not about that, right? I don't always take the women's side. But what I'm saying is that when we speak, we're speaking as what we want, not what we feel you want to hear. And we find sometimes the response that we get from men is that they're giving us what they feel that we need at that time, and not what we're verbalizing to them. So we find that with men, the way that you can help is to be consistent.
I was going to say
Be consistent in wanting to help. Don't give her a timeline as to when she should snap out of it. When should her passion no longer be an issue or affect you? Go ahead, Sonia. Go ahead.
To that, I believe that yes, the guy does need to be consistent if he's going to be helping that woman that was broken at one point. I always say this: it's a process, right? And if you're there for her, be there 100%. Because when she has those times when she reflects back on how you treated her, she'll remember how consistent you were. So don't give up. If she's a person that you want to invest that time to help her get through that, be there, because she will remember you in the end. Yeah.
And you know what? I would like to add something to that, because to me this is very important. All of us have our strengths and our areas of improvement, right, as women.
Right.
As a partner, as a husband, boyfriend, whatever you want to call it, I want you to nurture the things in me that are good.
Exactly.
So the minute that I'm in a relationship where I feel as if more of my negative traits are coming out, and trust me, I've got them, right? Then I know that's a relationship that's not really
conducive to your wellness.
Exactly. Yes.
Okay, and we want to thank Jason for calling in. Jason from Rexdale for calling in. We appreciate that question. Good question.
Yes, it was
Very good question.
And I like the fact that men are tuning in as well.
Yeah, because we have to say this song. Sorry to keep cutting
No, that's okay.
Yeah, we have to say this. It's satisfying her soul. So obviously we're gearing towards the women, right? But for the men that's tuning in, we have to say big up to you guys because it does take two, right?
Exactly.
We want to be those better wives, those better girlfriends, better mothers. So the only that can happen is we work as a team.
Exactly,
you know?
exactly. And the men are very important in this whole
dialogue. Exactly.
In the dialogue. As much as we said it's a platform that is designed for women, it's for the whole family. As I briefly explained before, women, we are that nucleus.
Right.
We're that foundation.
Right.
And God took us from the rib of Adam, and I know my pastor's probably happy I'm quoting the Bible, you know, but God took a rib from Adam to make us, and that means we're very important. You understand? We're the nucleus. So therefore, if that is not fixed, if that is broken down, if we as a structure is not good within ourselves, inside out, what happens is our children are broken. We tend to repeat the cycle. History repeats itself.
Exactly.
So we have to start from home and recognize it's okay to sometimes take me time. And speaking of me time, we need callers. Call. We were inviting us to give us a call. 905-595-5483.
And we have Nate from Brampton on the line right now.
Yeah, okay.
Nate?
Awesome.
I just want to know how to become abandonment because that's how I feel right now.
I'm sorry, I didn't catch that. Can you say that again?
How did you guys overcome abandonment? Because that's how I feel right now.
Wow, Nay, that was the hardest thing for me to get past. And I'll tell you, if I'm going to be honest, there's some days I wake up and I look back and I'm like, wow, he really did that to me. You just got to put yourself in a place where you want to move beyond that. It happened, right? It happened to me, right? I had to just say, okay, you know what, Sonia? Enough is enough. It's time for you to move on. He wasn't the one for you. If you feel you feel abandoned, just move on and just know that better days are coming and that he's the one that lost.
It's easier. Sorry, it's easier because remember when I told you, Sonia, like, come on, just pick yourself up and just move on and just do it. But when you feel abandonment, right? Because I know that when I felt in the worst part of my life, when I felt as though that I felt insecure, I felt abandoned, I felt unworthy, I felt a whole lot of negative things. But it's just that time when you decide to look at yourself and say, I'm worthy. You understand? I'm worthy beyond how he makes me feel. That sense of abandonment is something that you have to look into yourself and see how you're going to fulfill that empty spot. Because there's nobody else that can fill it for us except for the redeeming love we're going to talk about in our My Faith segment of our show. But until that, you have to look into yourself and see what it is that you can do to bring your self-worth up. Because like I said, with Sonia and with all the women that shares their story, you'll find that there's courage and there's strength in what they've been through. You understand? At one time of our life, we may be weak going through the situation, but when we find that strength can't hold us back. So you need to find that fulfillment in you. Girl, everybody's different, but you just have to look into that mirror and self-reflect and see what it is that you can do for yourself. Because we cannot get it or find it from somebody else to give that to us. Do you guys agree? Maybe
I agree. You also have to recognize you can internalize it. Right. That's often what we do. We internalize it. He did this to me, so therefore I am this. He did that to me, so this defines me in this way. Absolutely not. You can't internalize. You have to look at it for what it is. He did this because he's this kind of person.
Exactly.
And that's why I don't need somebody like that in my life.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? And the minute you can make that distinction between your role, your responsibility, exactly, and what he's going to put on you, and you can separate the two. As a matter of fact, I'll go one step further. You won't even hate him. You'll actually feel sorry for him.
Exactly. That's when you know. That's when you know that you've overcome. Because again, it's a process.
Right.
It's a process, especially if you've been in a relationship.
Thank you, Nate, for calling from Brampton. We have Sylvia on the line.
No, I think her name's Sophia.
Sophia on the line.
Yes.
I stand corrected, Sophia.
Okay, Sophia, we can... Hello? I guess Sophia's not there. Hello?
Hello? We're hearing you.
Okay, so in the meantime, I guess we'll just continue on. I guess we lost that caller. So Sonia cut you off. It wasn't me this time.
Yeah.
Sonia trying to
see how this works?
It's weird
this
because
twin thing here.
it's right in the middle. So as you were saying, you can continue with your point because Sonia.
I guess what my point was in regards to the last caller.
Go ahead.
Was, basically, it's a process, especially if it's a relationship that you've been in with someone for a while, and that person, you build a life with this person. You're under the assumption that you and this person are going to be together.
Right.
Whether you've created a family, you've gotten married. And it is a difficult situation.
Oh, yes.
It's hard. In the beginning, you're like, you don't want to get up out of bed. It's like you've lost someone, and it's almost like a death.
Yes,
It's like a death.
Yes,
but
it was like that.
as the process goes on, and you start to build your confidence, and you start to realize what your self-worth is and what makes you who you are, you get to realize that you can get through it. You can get through it.
Okay, so we're going to get into the My Faith segment because I believe our pastor is on the phone. Before we turn it over to him, I just want to say that when we're dealing with I guess we'll smile? Yeah. Oh, sorry. I made out a smile. I guess I didn't have my happy face on it. Sorry. Hey, everyone. As I was saying, the My Faith segment we're going to get into, it's going to be a segment that is fueled and inspired by our pastor that's going to speak to you right now because they're trying to get me to come off right now. Let's just go to the phones.
Hello.
Hello.
Hi, Pastor.
Good night. How are you doing?
I'm great.
Great.
How are you doing?
Great show.
Do I look good?
I'm in for it.
Pastor, do I look good?
Yes, I do.
No, not you. Okay.
I just want to say, just listening to you guys, you definitely have a message for the world. Not only the city of Brampton. There's so many people really need you. What took you guys so long?
I don't know, Pastor, but guess what? Sometimes we have to hurry up.
Well, I just want to look on the word healing.
Yes.
Which I know there are many hurting people out there. And when I look at the word healing, I'm seeing restoration. I'm seeing making amends. I'm seeing reconcile. I'm seeing soothing. And what you're doing right now, you're reconciling a lot of people to themselves. You're bringing back hope.
Pastor, can you hold on for one moment, please?
We're going into commercial, and we'll be right back.
Okay.
Hold on, Pastor.
Hold on, Pastor. Thank you.
Thank you.
We'll be back with our pastor and our guest.
I'm celebrating me and I satisfy my soul. The strength I need just to satisfy my soul. Satisfy my soul. Still picture capture, moving moments snap, releasing feeling, embracing the